What we've told it here at this point is, where is it coming from and where is it ultimately going to? Once it gets on the correct network, which specific machine will it belong on that network? Okay? The data link layer, it will actually have two separate sub-layers on it, which none of the others do, but I'm not going to talk about those right here. Just be aware that one does have two sub-layers, because everything above here is basically looking more software-oriented. Below here, it's looking at hardware issues more often, okay? Except for on the data link layer, there's a little bit of stuff that's software-oriented above and a little bit of stuff that's hardware-oriented below. The other part on the network layer, which I forgot to mention right there, is the device that you're going to use on that layer is you're going to use routers there.
Networkers transfer.
On the network layer, even though I'm really on the wrong layer. So you use routers on that layer which connect networks together. Okay? Data link layer, you're going to work with frames on this layer. You're going to use physical addresses on this layer also. Or MAC addresses. You're going to use physical addresses and MAC addresses on this layer. Now, what's going to happen is it's going to take that packet from the network layer. It's not going to do anything to the packet. It's going to add stuff to it. It's going to encapsulate it again. And encapsulating is sort of just like that. The easy one to think about encapsulating is whenever you take some medicine, that when you get capsules, what have they done? They've encapsulated the medicine inside of that little outer holder for it. So you've got a capsule that's encapsulated. You're just encapsulating what's on the previous layer in this case. You're taking what's there and putting more stuff around it on the outside. The other one is just like where we were shipping that package. We take that gift we're sending to Aunt Susie and we wrap it again if we're going to mail it, right? If we put it in a box or put some brown wrapping paper around it or something on around the nicely wrapped box, and then we put on the address on there that we actually put the physical address where it's to go to, the street address that it's going to. And that address for that location basically always stays the same. Okay? Your street, the number and name of your street does not normally change. It does once in a long while, but very seldom do you ever change house numbers on a street or the names of the streets. About the only time I know of changing house numbers is when you're looking at implementing 911 for the last so many years, that people have changed those around at that point to make the system work a little better. Street names do once in a long while change, but it's very seldom they change. But you'll hear every so often they've renamed some street. Somebody died and they decided to name it for him. Okay? But otherwise, street names are basically the same as they've always been. Main Street through your town has always been Main Street through your town. Okay? And that you can talk to somebody that's 90 years old and they can tell you they played on a certain street when they were a little kid, and you know exactly which street it was they played on. You may be going, why in the world would you ever played on that street now? But you know which street it is that they used to play on 90 years ago. Because the name is still usually the same. Who lives in that house on that street has changed probably a number of times along the way. Possible it's still the same person in 90 years, but not often. Usually people in the house changes, but the actual address stays the same. Your computer, every network device has a built-in that's burned in there from the time of manufacture, a physical address burned into every network device at manufacture time. The exception to that is routers do have the ability to change their actual physical address. You can actually change it in a router. But otherwise, basically, you can't change what that physical address is assigned to every network device, and that's the MAC address. Okay? And basically, it's a number that, I can't remember how long it is right off the top of my head, that the first half of it tells you who the manufacturer is, and the manufacturers are all assigned their own specific identification number. And they may get more than one number, that your large manufacturers have been assigned additional numbers. Cisco was originally assigned for their address, as far as their part on it, was that they were assigned a hexadecimal C for their number originally. C for Cisco. Well, they've run out of that and they've gotten assigned several other manufacturer number SIMs. But it will tell you who the manufacturer is in the first half of the MAC address. The last half of the address is a unique number assigned by the manufacturer. So by those two parts being put together, it is a unique number to any other network device in the world. There should not be two devices anywhere in the world ever that have the same number. And that's not to say that it hasn't occurred, that a manufacturer hasn't looped up somewhere along the way and managed to give multiple devices the same MAC address.
Or if you change router.
Now, on a router, because of how you can work it between, because it's connecting networks together and everything, they do include on a lot of high-end routers, not your consumer-end ones, but your high-end ones like we've got in here, and that if you go through the whole Cisco curriculum, you'll work with starting next quarter. They do give the ability to change that, but it's very seldom ever that anybody ever even changes that. But they do have it built in those where that is changeable for some reason. I have